Namaskar, Sat Shri Akal, Adab, hello, data and skill explorers. Welcome to DivKlearner, a bit forward daily. Today we are going to explore appending queries in Power BI. आज हम appending queries in Power BI पर discussion करेंगे. In this session we learn step by step ताकि आप इस concept का अपने real project में apply कर सकें या इस्तेमाल कर सकें. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. और अगर ये वीडियो आपको पसंद आया तो लाइक करें और शेयर करें उन लोगों के साथ जो इसे यूजफुल पा सकते हैं. सो लेट अस ट्राई टू एक्सप्लोर एंड चर्न डेटा टुडे. चलो शुरू करते हैं. सो आज का जो टॉपिक है दैट इज अपेंड क्वेरीज. अगर आपके पास जनवरी का और फरवरी का डेटा है, you want to analyze them differently or do you want to analyze them together? If you have the data for January sales data and February sales data in separate tables, you can analyze them separately or you can join them in one table. And joining them in one table is exactly what append query does. In simple word, append is equal to stack vertically. सोचो आपके पास जनवरी का और फरवरी का डेटा अलग अलग टेबल में है, क्या आप अलग अलग एनालाइज करेंगे? नहीं ना, आप चाहेंगे कि दोनों डेटा एक ही टेबल में हो. यहां मैजिक है append queries का. नीचे से डेटा को ऊपर के डेटा से चिपका देना, जैसे एक्सेल में हम कॉपी एंड पेस्ट करते हैं, राइट? तो लेट्स सी इन दी डेमो. हम जो डेमो बनाने वाले हैं वो एक्चुअली ये डेमो है. हमारे पास जनवरी का सेल्स डेटा है जिसमें 50 रोज हैं. वी हैव फरवरी डेटा जिसमें 50 रोज हैं. जब हमने इन्हें अपेंड करा तो वी हैव लाइक 100 rows there. So when we are talking about appending queries, the number of rows in the sales common table, which is the appended table, is equal to the number of rows in the Jan's sales table and the number of rows in the February sales table. So यहाँ पर आप देख रहे हैं कि 50 plus 50 is equal to 100. And the second thing we are going to do is we are going to compare the append and merge. So जैसे कि मैं प्रैक्टिकली बोल रहा हूँ कि हम कॉन्सेप्ट की बात तो कर रहे हैं, हम इसे प्रैक्टिकली भी करके देखेंगे. तो लेट अस डू द प्रैक्टिकल पार्ट ऑफ इट. तो मैं ये दूसरा पावर बीआई लेकर आता हूँ, पावर बीआई डेस्कटॉप जो ब्लैंक है अभी. सो व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू इज, मैं कलरिंग इसमें ज्यादा नहीं करूंगा. कलरिंग यू कैन डिसाइड विच कलर यू वांट. बट सबसे पहले अगर हम बात करें तो वी शुड वर्क ऑन दी टेम्पलेट. सो हमारे को यहाँ पर टेम्पलेट बनाना है. व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू इज वी आर गोइंग टू डू अ कैनवस बैकग्राउंड. जो कलर आपको चाहिए, आप अगर इमेज डालना चाहते हो तो इमेज सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं. जो आपको कलर चाहिए आप यहाँ से वो, या सॉरी मैं इमेज की बात करने पे आ गया दोबारा. आप यहाँ से वो कलर सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं. तो लेट्स सी, अगर मुझे यहाँ पर कोई लाइट पर्पल कलर चाहिए तो मैं उसे सिलेक्ट करूंगा और उसकी ट्रांसपेरेंसी जो है वो 0 कर दूंगा क्योंकि वो ट्रांसपेरेंट नहीं रहेगा. तो नाउ यू सी द कंप्लीट बैकग्राउंड इज पर्पल इन कलर. मैं यहाँ पर इंसर्ट करूंगा एक शेप विच इज ऑफ दिस काइंड. और इस शेप को, सॉरी ये जो चीज है, in this shape I'll try to make it the header. And as we were doing, what I was trying to do was I'll try to put in the image. तो यहाँ पर हम एक image लगाएंगे, the image that I want. So I want the image of the logo and then I will resize it accordingly. थोड़ा सा इसको बड़ा कर देते हैं इमेज को. और इसकी स्टाइल में जाके देखते हैं कि अगर हमारे पास फिट का ऑप्शन है, और अगर फिल का ऑप्शन है तो ओके, हम फिट पे ही रहेंगे. थोड़ा सा इसे और बड़ा करते हैं इमेज को. तो इसको थोड़ा सा मोटा करते हैं ताकि हमारी इमेज आए. कभी कभी क्या होगा कि आपकी ये जो इमेज है वो फोरग्राउंड से बैकग्राउंड में चली जाएगी. तो what you can do is you can go into the view, you can go to the selection, and once you are in the selection, अगर मैं शेप को ऊपर कर देता हूँ तो मेरी इमेज पीछे छुप जाएगी. और अगर मैं इमेज को शेप को इमेज के बाद करता हूँ तो मेरी इमेज ऊपर दिखेगी. So this can happen. तो आप वो चीज प्लीज चेक कर लीजिएगा. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a text box. That text box is where I'll be writing down the text. And I want this text box not to be displayed like this. So again, I'll go to the view, I'll remove the selection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the properties of the text box, no effect, and I don't want the background color, so I'll change the transparency to 100% transparent. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the text here. So the text is append demo. So once I've done that, I will increase the size of it. So I want it as somewhere around 32, and I want it to be center aligned. And the color that I want for the text, right, is, yeah, I can do it from here. I want it in the white color. So I'll have to first select it and change this to white color. And you see, this is what we have done. Now the next thing that you're seeing is there is a small line there which is coming there. That's due to the size. So if I reduce the size to 28, that line will go away, because then it doesn't require the scroller. So it says scroller की जरूरत नहीं है. Now the other thing that we were talking about was insert, and then go to buttons and navigator, page navigator. So अगली चीज जिसके बारे में हम बात करें, that is a page navigator. तो ये मैंने page navigator यहाँ पे लगा दिया. I want to expand it completely from here left to the right, मेरी heading के नीचे. And then I want to change the color of it. I can go to the styling, I can change the color. So default would be all of them. So I want them to be colored in, पहले तो I think purple पे ये blue अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, तो let's just go back and change this style shape to be filled with not this color but a dark purple color, or might be even a darker one, right? So अब हम इसी colors को maintain करके चलेंगे. I'll come back here, I'll go to the shape is rectangle, that's fine, but I want to change it to the arrow. So I'll select it as not the pentagon arrow, I want it as a different one, or let it be a pentagon arrow. And then what I can do is I can change the rotation. So I'll change this to 90% so that it shows up here like this. I want to change the color of it so that it matches the design. So here what I'm going to do is I'll change it to the dark purple color. Default, the selected will remain as the light purple color, and the text is light purple color, yeah, and I'll make it as bold and increase its font to somewhere around 24. तो ये बड़ा हो गया, इसको थोड़ा सा ड्रैग कर लेंगे नीचे ताकि ये पेज पूरा दिखे. And then what we are going to do is इसका जो fill color है we will change it to the dark purple color, क्योंकि उससे ये ऊपर वाले से मैच हो जाएगा. तो अभी हमारा ये पेज नंबर 1 है, इसको हम लिख देते हैं append demo. ये हमने पेज की डिजाइनिंग पूरी कर ली. Now the other thing that we have to do is we have to get the data. So I'll go back to the home, click on get data and go to Excel. So we have data which is for the January and February data, right? So we have the data for date 27. So let's just see if we can find out the data for 27. Oh yeah, This time I didn't want it to work with the Excel. I want to show you data in a different format. So what we are going to do is we are going to work with Python this time. So if I want to get the data from the Python script, how I can do that. So this is where I go and work with the Python. आज इस बार हम Python script से data लेकर आएंगे. So I click on the get data and then go to more and then select from here. I'll search Python. So जब हम Python में जाते हैं तो we'll click on the Python script and then I have a script for Python which I've been working on. So I'll show you that script. I'll just copy it. मैं वो script को यहाँ पे copy कर लेता हूँ. तो ये मेरी स्क्रिप्ट जो है दिस विल गिव मी द सेल्समैन नेम. तो ये वाली स्क्रिप्ट जो है मुझे सेल्समैन के नाम देगी. So we'll wait till it does that. So I can go to the Python, I can select the salesman and it is giving me salesman ID and the salesman, 50 of them. I'll click on load. The next thing is I have another script and this script will get me the sales for the month of January. So I'll do the same thing, get data, more Python script. So let's see where in which section we find it. If I click on the other, I'll click on the Python script and then I'll get it for January. So इस तरह से मैं जनवरी का डेटा लेकर आ सकता हूँ. I have made that things where I had to install the Python on my machine, and after installing the Python, I had to get those assemblies there. After getting that, I was able to generate this particular script and put in those scripts in the Python script editor, and I was able to generate the data. So in order to do that, I'll be showing this in a webinar, which I'll be soon giving the information about. And in that webinar, we will see how we can configure um, Python codes, how we can generate the data for our uh, for our demos, and how I've been creating those data myself. So बहुत जल्दी मैं एक वेबिनार करूंगा. इस वेबिनार के अंदर I'll be showing you कैसे हम इस Python कोड को लिखते हैं, Python को कैसे हम कॉन्फ़िगर करते हैं ताकि हम इसे देख सकें, और मैं अपने कोड्स बनाने के लिए कैसे मैं इन फाइल्स को बनाता हूं. तो once I click on load, you will be able to see I have the three datas now. I have the data for the salesman, I have the data for January, I have the data for the February. Let's do a one thing. I'll do a right click and click on edit query, and you would be able to see the data. So this is the data of the sales, this is the data for January, this is the data for February. So in February we have 50 rows, 3 columns. In January we have the 50 rows, 3 columns. We have the same names of the column in both of them. Now what I have to do is I have to go to the append queries and click on append new. So I want to append the first table, which is January table, to February table. If I have more than 2 tables, or that is might be going till end of the month, end of the year as well, starting from January, we can do that, and I'll just click on OK. So once I've clicked on OK, you will find that I have append 1. So I'll do a right click on that, or in fact I can do a right click and then rename it, or I can write it down here. So I'll say sales underscore data. So this is where I'll get the data from both the tables. I'll click on apply, and you would be able to see, if you go back here, you will be able to see all the 4 tables there. Now I want to show the first data for January. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a table, right? And in that table, I will put in the data from January. So I want the salesman ID, I want the sale month and the sales, but I don't want the summation of it. So I'll say don't summarize. So if I have to see the number of the items here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a card visual, and in the card visual, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the salesman ID, and I'll say count. I will not say count distinct, because if there are more than one person giving the sale, then it will not be giving me the correct number, but I want to show you the number and I don't want to show the total. So in order to remove the total, what I'm going to do is I'll go again, click on the table, I'll go to the properties of the table, then click on table, and I'll say I don't want to show any values. That's what I wanted to do. Similarly, I'll copy these two things and I'll paste it like 3 times because I'll require them. So I'll pick up these two first and take it towards the right, and then I'll select both of them and keep it in the middle. And this one I'll change. I will not require the January data, but I'll be requiring the February data. Again, I'll remove the sales to be not summarized. So I'll say salesman ID, month, and sales. And the count has to be changed as well. So I'll go here, remove this, and bring in the sales and ID of 2, and it is giving me the count. In the third table, I don't want to use the January table again, so I'll remove everything that I've selected. So I'll bring in the sales data. Again, the sales has been summarized, so I'll remove that. I don't want it to be summarized. So salesman ID, month, and sales. So that is the items there, but I just want to remove the previous count. I want to count it from the sales data. So I will just click on the salesman ID, and it shows me 100. So this is how you can see the append queries. Now there is another page that I've created in that particular demo that I was showing you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a copy or duplicate this page and remove everything that I've created here and rename this page as the difference, or I'll just name it as append versus merge. So in the previous demo, the previous video that we were working on, I showed you the demo in which we had a vertical kind of the vertical bookmark or the page navigator, right? But in this one, what you see is you see a horizontal one. So you can see append, and if I click on the append query merge, it comes here. Now the problem is that one of those things are small, the other one is big, right? So what I need to do is I need to go into the prop style again, and from here I will select default and change the default to 24, right? And I want to fill it up with the other color. So what I'm going to fill it with is this color. Right now we know that which of them is selected. Now what I want to do is I want to copy this, format painter, and then paint it. So on the other page that I was working on, where I'm showing the difference, what I've done is I have created a different table which already has the data in it, right? So I have created another Python for this particular table. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'll go to get data and click on more, select the Python. From others, I'll select the Python script, and I'll put in the Python script that I've created. So in this Python script, what I'm doing is I'm creating purpose, SQL equivalent, requirement, and output. So these are the categories on which it has been done there. So I'll just click on OK, and it will generate another table for me, right? So I require only the part of the comparison part there. So I'll just click on OK, and I'll get that table and click on OK. Then all that I have to do is, yeah, I'll come back here. So this is the table that has been generated for me. I'll just click on apply, and I'll go back to this page, and I will say insert a table for me. So this table has been inserted, and in this table I just require the comparison table items there. So first is feature, then is append, and then is merge. Now I'll leave it to you to work on the designing of it in this way, right? And you let me know in the comments that how did you find it. So here we are talking about the features. Let me just discuss about the difference between the append and merge. If you're talking about the append and merge, right? Um, when we try to merge two table, the output is a wider table which has more rows. Sorry, which has more columns. And when we try to append, it has more rows. So the purpose is to stack the multiple tables vertically, and the purpose for merge is to add columns horizontally. So append is stack rows, merges add columns. Requirement, same similar columns in both the tables. If there is any difference in the tables, you will find that there are two columns with different with the same values. As in, the if you names one column as customer and the other one as customers, you will see there are two columns where the customer table will have the values in the customer part there, and in the customers column will not have the value which you have written in the customer in the append table, and the customer's value would be empty for the table which has values in the customer. So the name should match. Then if you talk about the SQL, if you're familiar with the SQL, the equivalent of append is union, whereas the equivalent of merge is join, which I've already shared in the previous video. So this is what I wanted to show you in this particular demo. I'll click on file and click on save as, where I want to save it. I'll click on browse, and I will save this here as well, and click on OK. So this is the way that we would be able to save it. You will see the name has changed here when it got saved. So this is exactly what we have to do, and you saw we were appending, mean stacking tables on top of each other, similar to union in SQL, right? We were combining monthly sales into one master table. Then we talked about difference between merge and append. So that's all for today, data skill explorers. You have just moved one step forward in your learning journey. बस आज इस वीडियो में इतना ही, लेकिन याद रखिए रेगुलर प्रैक्टिस ही आपको एक्सपर्ट बना सकती है. If you found this video useful, like and share it, और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना करें ताकि आप कोई भी नया लेसन मिस ना करें. The other thing is, if you still have questions, you can write it down in comments, or you can go to this link. I'll be sharing this in the YouTube video as well. अगर आपके पास अभी भी कोई सवाल है तो आप कमेंट्स में पूछ सकते हैं. हम एक कम्युनिटी बनाने की सोच रहे हैं with all the experts as well as the freshers, so that we can answer your questions, and I can take help from the experts as well if they they volunteer. And there is a form as well where you can ask the question and we can identify it. The reason why we have asked you to put in your ID or your um, school ID card is that we know that we are talking to genuine people. We are not putting our efforts with any of the AI tools. And then we have the other thing is that since we are making a community, we want to create this relationship for a longer period. We are not looking for a short period gain. तो जो मैं कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि हम एक छोटे पीरियड के लिए कोई गेन नहीं लेना चाह रहे हैं, हम चाह रहे हैं कि जिनके साथ भी रिलेशनशिप बने लॉन्गर पीरियड के लिए बने, एंड वी कैन बेनिफिट ईच अदर, एक दूसरे का मदद कर सकें रेस करने में और राइज करने में अपने करियर में एंड लाइफ में. सो अगर आपका कोई क्वेश्चन है तो कमेंट में डालें. इफ नॉट, if you have a lot of questions, you can avail this feature as well. I'll be giving you this link in the YouTube section. So again, with that, we have finally come to the end. I thank you. I'm your skill and data explorer peer, DivKlearner, a bit forward daily. मैं हूँ आपका skill और data exploring साथी, DivKlearner, a bit forward daily. So till the next video, keep exploring, keep churning. Thanks, bye.